Why is it that one of the most popular companies in the world, a company which claims to believe in economic and social justice, is deliberately pushing income inequality at an alarming rate? Don't believe me? Consider this. Two people both doing the same job, working roughly the same number of hours, same responsibilities within the same industry, and yet one of those people is making more than 10 times as much. And if that isn't a prime example of the kind of harmful income inequality tearing apart our country, then I don't know what is. So can someone please explain to me, why would the NBA and LeBron James perpetrate this kind of economic injustice against Corey Kispert, not to mention all the other small forwards in the league? Now, inevitably, someone is going to roll their eyes and say, that's not a fair example, or that's not what we're talking about. But if someone is arguing that income inequality is a huge problem, then why shouldn't it apply to the NBA or anywhere else for that matter? Perhaps the reason is that income inequality is not the same thing as economic injustice, despite the fact that the two terms seem to be used interchangeably. Let me explain. Of course, there is such a thing as economic injustice within the economy. And an example could be when an individual or company cheats or defrauds others or their own employees, or perhaps makes their money based off of things like political connections rather than their ability to compete in an open and free market. But in those cases, income inequality is not the real problem. The problem is that someone is being ripped off. And the reason why nobody thinks LeBron James is ripping off his fellow NBA players is that while Kispert and James had a similar amount of time playing at the same position last season, and despite the fact that Kispert has a college degree but LeBron doesn't, anyone that knows anything about basketball can see that LeBron plays at a much more productive level than Kispert. So of course he's going to make more for the same job because of the way he does that job. And at the end of the day, the NBA makes their money when fans watch the games. And fans are more likely to do so when someone like LeBron is playing. The value he brings to the NBA is higher than Kispert. Not because the Lakers or the Wizards decided so, but because the customers decided. It's not that the NBA is arbitrarily paying him more in order to perpetuate income inequality. It's that there's a performance inequality, and that demands compensation be adjusted appropriately. Otherwise, he's going to take that productivity to someone who will recognize its value. The bottom line is that while no system is capable of perfection, a system which sets up arbitrary criteria decided upon by politicians engaging in price fixing doesn't result in economic justice, but rather creates a depressing and ultimately unjust environment that punishes innovation, creativity, and work ethic. When it's customers deciding which goods and services are most valuable to them, you get a system that is far more likely to produce value and justice than one where your economic reality, both as a worker and a customer, is decided by the whims of a third party.